This is Film Trigger. Stevie Cade.
I don't need breast implants. I lost 90 pounds. I have my own kids.
Seth Draven.
So by that logic, George Clooney is the best live-action Batman we have ever gotten.
Ramon from Hit or Miss TV.
If Justice League 2 isn't announced in 2022, I will shave my hair bald live on air.
Streaming from Studio 47. Film Trigger's Drive-By News begins now.
Everybody. Hello, how are you guys doing today? Oh, we're doing fine, Steve. Ramon from Hit or Miss TV. Seth Draven, how are you guys? Oh, wait, that's right. They're not here. That's right. I am flying solo today. Mr. Seth Draven, a man in front of the curtain, as we call him now, he's out doing a driving thing, getting his license, so good for him. And I learned something today. Today is Mother's Day in the UK, and Ramon from Hit or Miss TV, my little Ramon Noodle, is out being a good son, taking his mom out to a good dinner. That makes him a really good kid. Or maybe a really bad kid, because he also forgot it was Mother's Day, and he hit me up last minute like, dude, I totally forgot. I got to go. However you want to take that. Either way, they're not here. So you get me. I'm all you have today, and that's okay. Why is that okay? Well, because starting this week, or next week rather, starting tomorrow, as in tomorrow being the next week, we will be going live every Tuesday and Thursday, as well as our Sundays for Drive-By News. And with that, I may or may not have people with me. So this is a good experience for me to kind of try it out, see how it works out flying solo, because it might happen every now and again throughout the week. But tentatively speaking, Seth and Ramon will be a part of those streams as often as they can. And most likely they will be for the majority of it. But days like this will happen, and that's okay, because the show must go on, the news must get to you, and damn it, I'm the one to provide it. So with that being said, we got a few things we got to run over here. Excuse me. All right. Let's talk about our first main topic here. I don't want to call it main topic. I don't like, maybe I could find a different name for these. But Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Okay, so if you are a fan of this channel, or if you've watched our Drive-By News, we have talked about, there's going to be a new Renfield movie coming out, which I was really excited about because I like the character Renfield. For those of you who don't know, Renfield is, he's part of the whole Dracula lore. And he's been a part of all the Dracula movies as well. He's kind of like his minion in a sense, kind of like Igor to Frankenstein. Well, when the announcement came out, I was really excited, and then Nicolas Cage was attached to the movie as Dracula, and I completely lost interest. I'm like, nope, okay, done. I'm out. I'll see y'all later. There's two things that I was missing with this piece of news. Number one, I didn't realize this was a comedy. That changes everything. This is a dark comedy about Dracula. Okay, now I can see Nicolas Cage being presented in this sort of light as Dracula. Because to me, Dracula's gold. You don't touch Dracula. But when it's Nicolas Cage, you definitely don't touch Dracula. But if it's Nicolas Cage and it's a comedy, all right, I can see that. Number two, they have dropped a first image of Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Please let me know in the comments what you think about this look. There we have it. Nicolas Cage. Oh, Nicolas Cage looking kind of like John Travolta. Like, if you told me that was John Travolta, I would kind of believe you. So it's very vibrant. This is obviously going with the mode that it is a comedy, which thank God, because if this was being taken serious, I was already out thinking it was a drama, but now that I know that it's a comedy, okay, I dig it. It looks good for what I believe they're going for. Again, the fact that it has changed to a comedy has completely changed my perspective of this movie. Now I'm a little bit more curious about it. Although I do think we need a good, like, solid Dracula movie to come out. I know that Universal was trying to do a Dracula movie. I don't know if it's what happened to it. It was part of like their MonsterVerse that they were trying to put together. Then they weren't trying to put it together, and then they came out with the Invisible Man, and then they tried to reimagine it. And I'm not sure what happened with that, but I was very curious to see how that Dracula movie was going to pan out, because it was supposed to be a modern time Dracula, and that piques my curiosity to see if a modern time Dracula could work in general, because Dracula to me it's a timepiece. You know, it's stuck in like the 1800s. That's where that character should be. You know, I feel the same way about most of the monster universe. The werewolf, the mummy, all these characters. Whenever they try to modernize them, it doesn't work out too well. But when they make movies that are held in that period, in that time period, it seems to work out better for them. Neither here nor there. That's not what this movie's about. I don't really know too much about this movie besides it's a comedy and it stars Nick Cage, and it also stars there's another look at him. It also stars, what is that dude's name? This guy. Yeah, played Beast in X-Men. I can't remember his name. I'm sure it's up here somewhere. See, look at that. Doesn't he look like John Travolta right there? I swear to God, it looks like John Travolta in that one movie where he was playing, I forget what movie it was, but yeah, it just looks like John Travolta to me. What do you guys think about this look when it comes to Dracula? Are you digging it? Sure. As long as it stays in the comedy realm, yeah, I can handle it. And Nicolas Cage, man, I'll tell you what, this guy is really popping up a lot lately. He has that new movie coming out, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which when I saw the trailer, I just wasn't excited for it. Maybe I'm like on this. Maybe I don't like Nicolas Cage anymore. I don't know, because whenever I see his name attached to things, I just kind of dismiss it. Almost like Bruce Willis, because he's doing all these just B movies, just an obvious cash grab. But he has come out stating why he's doing it. He's saying, hey, I ran into some money trouble, so I did a cash grab, and now I'm out of the money trouble, so I'm going to take acting a little bit more seriously. So I guess I can't really blame him for that. But hopefully he puts out quality content, and hopefully the massive weight of unbearable talent, or whatever the movie's called, hopefully that will put him back on the map for me. Because right now, whenever I see Nicolas Cage, meh. Let me know what you guys think about this first look of Nicolas Cage as Dracula. If you're Steve, I'm driving. I can't comment while I'm driving. Well, you can also give us a call if you want. We are taking calls live right now. You can give us a call at 740-527-3447 right now. We are taking calls live as well. And sorry if I seem distracted. I was looking for my little banner and it's missing. Here, let me add one here. There we go. See, this is a lot easier when I can just yell at Seth and ask him to do it. See, I need you guys. This is why I need my team. That's all right. We're good. There you go. You can give us a call live right now, 740-527-3447. If you don't want to message us, you can also text us at that number if you really want to. But if you're going to text, you might as well just message us in the comments as well. So either one. All right. Moving on to our next thing here I want to talk about is there is a Marilyn Monroe movie coming out, and it has now gotten a NC17 rating. Now, here we go. Marilyn Monroe movie Blonde officially rated NC17. There's an actress who's going to be playing Marilyn Monroe. Now when you hear NC17, number one, you almost never get that rating. That rating doesn't pop up very often. The first thing that comes to my head is Showgirls. If you remember that hot mess, that movie that is classically terrible, if you will. It's so you think NC-17, you're like, oh, cool. Well, that's going to be very sexually driven movie. It's obviously lots of nude scenes and sex scenes and Marilyn Monroe, sex and all this stuff. So that's what comes to most people's heads. But like, Marilyn Monroe has a very deep story, about a very disturbing story about she was molested as a child, raped by movie directors and things like that for roles. And so the sexual content that the NC-17 rating might not be like, like trying to sexualize Marilyn Monroe, but really just show the drama that she's gone through, the traumatic experiences she had, in her career and in her life leading up to her career, which begs the question, is that necessary? If you want to tell a story, that's fine. That's good. How much is too much? And, a woman who's been sexualized her entire life and beyond, I don't know. The NC-17 rating it's not an exciting rating for me when it comes to this movie, because it's going to go one of two routes. Number one, they're either going to focus in on the traumatic stuff that she's gone through. And if they're showing that on camera, I don't think that's really necessary. You can hint at things like that happening and you don't need to show it on camera. Or number two, it's just going to play into, her career as a sexualized being. And if that's the case, that's an injustice to me. She should be remembered for more than that. And obviously it's a big part of what her career was, but I don't know. I don't know. The NC-17 rating has really got me wondering exactly what kind of movie this is going to be and the integrity behind it. Why is it going to be this rating? Why is it going to be this sexually driven? Is it going to be for excitement, or is it going to tell a traumatic story? And either one, to me, it's not really worth it. You can tell a wonderful Marilyn Monroe story without diving it too far into one way or the other with that. I mean, they already did that too. There was already a Marilyn Monroe movie, I believe, with what is her name? She has a sister. I can't remember her name. But they came out with a Marilyn Monroe movie a long time ago, and it was pretty good. And it was, I guess, essentially her biopic. But so I don't know what different stories they're going to tell in this movie. But the NC-17 rating is what we're going to get. Now, I believe this movie is going to go to Netflix. So I believe Netflix picked this up. Let me double check that. If that's the case, then what's the point in the rating? Because I don't think Netflix has ratings like that. Let's see here. NC-17. Oh, sorry. I was trying to figure out if this was on Netflix or not, and I just read this little thing right here. It says Dominic went on to record about the film, feeding the rumors that it would be NC-17, as well as calling the film demanding and saying, if the audience doesn't like it, that's the fucking audience's problem. Fair. I mean, if that's a story he wants to tell, that's a story he wants to tell. But at the same time, don't spit in the face of your audience. I don't know. There's a dark cloud over this Marilyn Monroe movie already, which is not a good sign for me. Who knows? It might be a fantastic movie, or it's going to be a shit show that's over-sexualizing somebody who's spent her whole life just being overly sexualized. So if that's the case, good job for making a terrible movie. Let's move on past this. All right. Godzilla Vs Kong 2. Let's see here. Where is it? I don't have it. Oh, well, I'm missing it. Godzilla vs. Kong 2 has been greenlit, and I guess pre-production, and I think it's just been announced. Nothing is really rolling quite yet. But do we need a Godzilla vs. Kong? Is this something that the audience is demanding? Is this something that can play into a good story? Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. It's a Godzilla versus Kong part 2. You're not there for a story-driven thing. The first movie proved that, because the first movie was... I don't remember what the story was in the first movie, but you know what I do remember? The fight scenes. And that's all this is. That's all this movie's trying to be. It's just two monsters battling it out. And I mean, come on. We got King Kong, who went to the center of the earth wielding an axe. That's so fantastical. I love it. I like what they're doing with these movies. It's weird because when you watch like the origins of these movies, you know, Godzilla and then Skull Island, they don't really hint at being this fantastical, but they're really evolving that way. And that's okay. That's what those movies are. I think they fit better in that sort of world than the world that, you know, we've tried to do before, especially that 1998 Godzilla movie. Oh man, what a disappointment that movie was. When you take these characters and try to put them in a realistic light, it doesn't always work out. Now, King Kong, and maybe as one-offs they do, and that they've got their one-offs, but when you put them together, you have to go fantastical, balls to the wall, or don't do it at all. And that's what they're going to do. So Godzilla vs. Kong 2 is greenlit. It's ready to come to theaters whenever they decide to make it. And I'm excited for it. I'm going to go to the theater, munch on popcorn, and watch two monsters battle it out, because that to me that's awesome. All right, moving on here. Christina Ricci is cast in the Wednesday Netflix series. That's right. Christina Ricci is coming back as not Wednesday. Nope. Wednesday is a little girl in this series. So obviously Christina Ricci, not a little girl. And she's not coming back as an older version of herself. She's actually being cast as a mysterious new character. She's not going to be playing Morticia Adams either. That's actually going to be played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, which I think is a very, very good choice. And Catherine Zeta-Jones has looked... God, that woman's looked 25 years old for the past 30 years. She doesn't seem to age, unlike her husband, who is like old as dirt. But we don't know what role she's playing or we don't know exactly how much she's going to be in the series. It might just be a quick cameo, or she could be an extended character that's a pivotal part of the story. Don't really have any clue yet, but it's bittersweet to me. It's bittersweet because, I mean, we've all been wanting Christina Ricci to come back, right? Like as Wednesday Addams. That's what we've always wanted. And well, she's coming back not as Wednesday, but it's good to see her come back. It's good to see her dust off the Addams family wardrobe, whatever she's going to do. But it's her not playing Wednesday Addams is that's kind of shitty. I would really I've always wanted to see her adult version of Wednesday tell a story and see where Wednesday is now, or maybe even if they did have her play an older Wednesday and the show still be focused on a younger Wednesday and she's like telling it like memoirs or something like that, that would have worked for me. But I'll put faith in the creatives. They're telling a story that they want to do, and they're bringing her back, so they're paying homage to her. Hopefully it plays into the story. It's not just like an empty calorie cameo. So yeah, well, Christina Ricci coming back as not Wednesday in Netflix series. It's going to be an interesting series, though. This I believe this series kind of focuses on Wednesday. She's going to be joining like a school or something, if I remember correctly. It's going to be like almost like a Hogwarts, magic school, but it's going to be like a school for potions and spells, I believe. So all right, it's obviously going to be for a younger audience, which is good. Addams Family does need that. It needs a shake up, rejuvenation. That cartoon series that they did, I didn't even watch it. It looked absolutely terrible to me. Let me get. Yeah, and so hopefully they can breathe new life into the Addams Family, and with Christina Ricci backing it a little bit, okay, I'll get behind it. I'll trust them. I'll trust that she's not gonna like spit on her own, image, and try to disappoint audiences. So good for her. I'm glad to see her come back. I wish it was Wednesday, but I'll take what I can get. All right, so Christina Ricci as Wednesday. Okay, we got down, Nicolas Cage. All right, so the next thing what we're going to discuss here is Avatar 2 trailer could premiere in front of what's it? Doctor Strange. Jeez, Multiverse of Madness. I don't know why I didn't write that title in there. Could premiere in front of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which makes sense because they're both, Marvel and they're both Disney properties. I'm middle of the road when it comes to Avatar. Number one, it has been a very long time since Avatar came out, so the steam behind the sequel is not as great as it could have been if they came out with it 10 years ago. But at the same time, it's James Cameron. You can't dismiss James Cameron. He's the creator of two of the top three greatest financially best movies of all time. One of them also being Avatar 1. And we are getting, I guess, 4 Avatar movies. And now they have already started. They've already finished one, and it should be out this December of this year. I hope it's a good movie, just like we do with anything. But at the same time, it has been quite a long time since we've seen Avatar. So they got to this trailer's got to bring it. It's got to bring its A game. If they don't, if this trailer kind of flops, I think this movie could be damned. So hopefully James Cameron is a pivotal part of the trailer and how it's put together, because sometimes studios will outsource their trailers and to a company that makes movie trailers, and then they'll put it out and it's kind of not the same vibe as the movie. Hopefully that's not the case here, because this trailer needs to be good. It needs to set up an expectation of what we're going to get. It can't just be like a teaser trailer. I mean, the fact that it took 10 years is the teaser. So we've got enough tease of this movie. Hopefully this trailer will come out and it shows us exactly what's going to, not obviously the storyline, but what we can expect from this movie. How is this movie going to compare to the first and bring something new to the table? That's what they need to do here. All right, so Sonic the Hedgehog 2 early reactions. Ooh, this is gonna be good. So I am a big fan of this Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It was actually the last movie that I saw in theaters before the pandemic. Well, that and that weird Harley Quinn movie that I just can't stand. It was the last movie I saw before the pandemic hit, and it was a pleasant surprise. It really, really was. And if you haven't seen Sonic the Hedgehog, I do recommend you go see it. Jim Carrey, he's back. That's good, because Jim Carrey seemed to kind of lose his way acting. I think he was trying to find himself, and well, that's a whole different topic that we can go down. But Jim Carrey he's the Jim Carrey we know and love, and him playing Robotnik it's everything that we love about Jim Carrey. So I'm glad to see him back. And the early reactions to Sonic the Hedgehog are great. There's a lot of praise, as the title says here. Praise, fun, and action-packed sequel, which is perfect. I'm so happy for this franchise. It's the little franchise that could. No one expected much from this movie, and then it had that big debacle at first when they put out the first design of the hedgehog, and nobody liked it. And you know what? The director did the right thing. He said, you know what? I agree. Let's go back. Let's redesign them. I think they spent I don't know how much money, but a lot of millions and millions of dollars to redesign Sonic the Hedgehog because of the uproar of it. And that was a smart decision. It worked out for them. But that's a debate in itself. How much should you listen to the audience, and what time do you just not listen to the audience and make what you want to make and tell the story that you want to tell? I guess that really depends on from movie to movie. They made the right decision here. They listened to the audience and they took care of it. Sonic Hedgehog 2 early reactions have surfaced online as audience praise for the action-packed sequel. Paramount launched the Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise in 2020 as the family-friendly video game movie was one of the last hits before COVID. Yep, that's what I just said. Yep, it was the last movie I saw in theaters before COVID. And let's see here. Yeah, it's going to bring on a couple new characters. We got I think it's Tails. I don't know. I never played the video games. I'm not a video game guy, but I do respect that they made a good video game movie. Good for them, because those are very far and few between. Are you excited for this movie? Let me know in the comments below. Also, did you play the game? How fun was the game, and how accurate is the movie to the game? I don't know. It's very, very fantastical movie, and yeah, I get the references to the game. I just honestly don't know it very well. All right, but there's another movie that's coming out that has quite different reactions to the early reactions to it. And that's Morbius. Morbius is not doing too hot right now. Let's see if I got this up here. For a couple different reasons. Number one, there's a lot of rumors and speculation coming out that most things that we've seen in the trailers for this movie were lies, not just misdirecting, the audience saying, "Ooh, this could happen," or we CGI this character out. No, they straight up just like made up things. Now that hasn't been proven to be true or not true, but the studio hasn't come out to debunk it either. So their silence speaks volumes. But now the early reactions call the movie disjointed and incoherent. How long has this movie been waiting to premiere? Like it's one of those ones that have been pushed back due to the pandemic. They've had a lot of time to really hone this movie, and now the early reactions are just not great for it. Early fan reactions for Morbius say the film is disjointed and incoherent. Morbius is Sony's upcoming film and set in the Spider-Man universe. What Spider-Man universe? We don't know. They're very wishy-washy about that. I think they're trying to maybe set this movie up in a world where all like the multiverse kind of exists like all together. I don't know. It's very confusing, and I can see just from the trailers alone, my biggest curiosity of this movie was because I just wanted to know where it landed in the whole scheme of the universe. Because in the trailers you see the Daily Bugle from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. You see Vulture from Tom Holland Spider-Man. You see Oscorp Tower from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. So like, where does this movie land? And apparently it doesn't quite answer that question according to the first reactions. Michael Keaton is reprising his role in this movie, but as Vulture. But is it going to be the same Vulture? Are they going to try to do a bait and switch? Oh, this is Vulture, but it's a different multiverse Vulture. It's not the same one from the Tom Holland movies, which would be very confusing. Like that's the tricky part about this multiverse. Okay, it seems like you really have to know where your movie lands. And if you're going to try to do this lazy writing of, oh, it's Tony Stark, but not the Tony Stark, that's going to be garbage. Hopefully Disney stays away from that, but it seems like Sony is really might be playing into that lazy way of storytelling. And I hope this is an April Fool's joke, because this movie does come out in April Fool's. And if it is, well, this is a terrible marketing plan. But gosh, yeah, Morbius has suffered numerous delays due to COVID. It was slated to release on January 28th before pushing again to April Fool's Day, April 1st. It was that reaction to Spider-Man No Way Home. We don't really know the point of the delay. I don't know. If this movie fails, if this movie sucks, then Jared Leto, buddy, you got to choose better movies because he is batting 1,000 here with his with his choices. I mean, he did the Suicide Squad where he played a very, very questionable Joker. I personally I wanted that Joker to succeed. I really did. And there was a lot of rumors going around, like there was studio involvement. Obviously, Warner Brothers was changing their tune with their movies at that time. That's what happened with Justice League, and then what later became the Snyder cut of the movie. And they say David Ayer kind of went through the same thing, where they made the movie, but then they made him redo it or reshoot things. But so he says the movie that we got wasn't quite the movie that he wanted, and Jared Leto's Joker ended up on the cutting room floor. And I thought, okay, well, Jared Leto's Joker sucks because, studio involvement, and this way that he wanted to tell the Joker story didn't get told. Well, then Joker shows back up in Zack Snyder's Justice League and in a nightmare sequence, and people praise it, and I do like the sequence, I really do. But there's some acting choices that I just can't take that Joker seriously. And I don't know if it's because I haven't seen the Joker in the way that I'm supposed to see him yet, but it's definitely not my favorite Joker by far. But my point is okay, so he has controversy around that Joker movie. And then he came out with this House of Gucci or whatever it's called movie. And again, Jared Leto under the microscope. People just didn't take well to it, and he just won a Razzie. He won a Razzie award. If you don't know, Razzie awards are like fuck you awards. So like, hey, you win an award, but like it's not a good award. You win an award for sucking. And so now this whole Morbius early reaction, and it's not good. Jared Leto, man, I don't know. Is it you? Or are you just choosing bad roles? You're a great actor. He's won an Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club. He won an Oscar for that. And I loved him in, what's that movie called? Requiem for a Dream. God, what a stellar movie that was. And his acting just amazing. So I know he's got the acting chops. So I have to say that he's just getting a bad run with these movies that he's choosing. And well, and number two, back to the whole reactions of Morbius and Sony just seemingly just giving us a bad script, a poorly lazy written movie. Again, I haven't seen it. I don't know. Maybe this is all an elaborate April Fool's joke, and Morbius is going to be an Oscar-winning, movie when it comes out. Who knows? But it has set itself up to answer a lot of questions, and it seems the audience is leaving without any of those questions being answered, and that's not good. That's not what draws us in. It doesn't appeal to an audience when you set them up to think one way, like, okay, come to this movie and find out what we're talking about. Then you show up and you're still wondering what was in the why did you ask this question in the trailer? Why did you show me that if it's not going to play out? Why did you make up scenes completely and put them in the trailer, then delete them for the movie? That is so shady. And if the movie fails, well, it's on them. So Sony can kiss my ass if that's what they're going to do. Are you guys excited for this? The Morbius early reactions aren't good. What little bit of hope I had for this movie is gone. Maybe I'm being too particular. Maybe it'll be great. I'll give it a shot. I'll wait for it to come out video on demand, which will probably be like seems to be 45 days later after they are in theater. Seems to be the new normal for when movies are released to digital. But let me know in the comments below what you think about, the early reactions from Morbius, or if you're still excited for this movie, or if you're abandoning ship like I am. All right. Let's see here. There was a tease earlier this week. Let's see here. Get it pulled up. There's a Deadpool 3 Hulk tease. The Adam Project's Hulk and Deadpool Easter egg break its universe. Okay. Anyway, so there was a photo of the Hulk, and you see Hulk and Deadpool right here. The director, who is I can't remember the director's name. I'm so bad with names. If you guys can't tell, I can never remember anybody's name. Anyway, the director of the Adam Project, who is going to be the director of Deadpool 3, posted this picture showing Hulk and Deadpool, which hence that maybe Hulk being in Deadpool 3. maybe. But I also did watch Free Guy last night, which same director, and which was a great movie, by the way. It's on I think HBO Max is what I watched it on, or no, was it HBO Max? I can't remember, but it's a great movie, and there was a little clip in that show that I noticed where Ryan Reynolds has a Hulk hand for about 2 seconds or something like that. He also wielded Captain America's shield, which is great callback to the Marvel universe, which obviously Deadpool's a part of. So I'm wondering if like they're just hinting at that little parallel there, and they're just, hey, yeah, Hulk exists, whatever. Or is Mark Ruffalo actually going to show up in Deadpool 3? Which, sure, why not? You can do anything in Deadpool, and I've always stated that Deadpool is going to be the little island of rated R content that these Marvel characters like the Hulk or Ant-Man or anybody, cherry pick anybody from the Marvel universe. If you want them to have a rated R shtick, put them in Deadpool 3 and all the censors are off. Hopefully that's what they do, because that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, as for if Hulk is going to be in it or not, mum's the word on that. Sorry, my heater was on. Mum's the word on that, and we'll see. I don't know. I think it would be fun. Mark Ruffalo is always a good time. And since he can't make his own movie, well, then he can just travel around to everyone else's movie. Let me know what you guys think about this Deadpool 3 Hulk tease. Is this something you want to see? Or do you think maybe they should just keep that separate from the Marvel universe? I don't. As I said, I want Deadpool to be the rated R island that all the characters go to visit to let loose a little bit. Alrighty, Deadpool 3. Let me get rid of you. The last thing I'm going to discuss here is, it's a little short show. Again, Ramon and Seth aren't with us today. Ramon spending Mother's Day because it's Mother's Day in the UK with his mom, and Seth out doing his driving stuff to get his license. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible 7/8 problems. So Mission Impossible 7 is complete, and they're going to put it out in theaters. And what they're wanting to do, as I said before, there's this new thing where, let's see if I can find it. There's this new thing where movies seem to be going to streaming about 45 days after their theatrical run. And Tom Cruise says, no, thanks. No, he wants it to stay in theaters without the 45-day run. And he has lawyered up, actually, but which is odd because he's like, no, I don't want this movie to be streaming 45 days after its theatrical release. No, I want it to do 3 months of theatrical release, and then you can do whatever you want with it. And the studio says, that's kind of our choice, not yours. But then he's Tom Cruise. So do you say no to Tom Cruise? Is he going to get all the Scientology people after you? Maybe not. I don't know. Tom Cruise seems scary. Seems like the type of guy who will murder you while smiling. So he has lawyered up, but the court appearance isn't going to happen until they finish shooting Mission Impossible 8, because I guess these are going to come out back to back. I don't really know how they're going to do that, but so Mission Impossible 8 is still filming, which probably makes things a little awkward on the set. There with your director and coworkers, knowing that after this movie's done, your main actor is going to sue you. But whatever, it's Tom Cruise. He can do whatever he wants. He's had a 37-year relationship with Paramount, and he's obviously very proud and grateful for it. But he doesn't seem to understand or like this 45-day window of theatrical release. And I kind of get that. I mean, Tom Cruise comes from a generation, like most actors, because this is a very new concept, where theaters is where it's at. That's the magic of movies. You go to the theaters to watch these things. It's a whole different experience. You immerse yourself. But we're living in a different climate now that it's not necessarily the case. What is a movie-going experience anymore? I mean, unless you're going like on an opening day or something like that, and the whole audience is, totally into the movie with you, my personal experience in theaters aren't great anymore. Like there's always somebody on their phone talking, making ruckus noise. Like last time I went to the theater, it was a few weeks ago. I saw the movie Scream, and there was a guy sitting next to us, had his phone on and like notifications on, like you could hear every time he got a text, and he was sitting there looking at his phone. The person to my left was, I forget what they were doing, but they were distracting me with doing something. I can't remember. The point is I remember these people doing things, and I didn't really focus on the movie for different parts of it because my experience wasn't great. So unless movie theaters crack down on that 45-day window, that's perfect. I'll go see it opening day, and then if I really like it, I'll wait 45 days for it to come to streaming. And that seems to be the popular consensus, and COVID has really pushed that happening. And well, people like Tom Cruise are still in the old-fashioned way of movie going, where you have to go into theaters and let it run its course for 3 months. I don't know if Tom Cruise will win this. He probably will because he's Tom Cruise, but at the same time, he could just be having grumpy man syndrome and, just not willing to move with the times. I'm very curious to see what his actual reasoning is behind this, besides I just want it, like why he wants it to run its 3-month course. Because to me, with this whole new streaming service thing, every studio has its own streaming service, except for Sony. So the goal with that is, okay, start a streaming service like the Batman, Warner Brothers. The Batman is doing great. I think it's been number one for 3 weeks now, and then it will come out on streaming, I believe, on April 19th or 18th. I can't remember which one of those 2 days, 45 days after its initial release, and that will bring droves of people to the streaming service. I think that's a great plan. That makes sense to me, and that's the new way these movies should do it. Because now you're not just looking to get your money through, the theatrical release, but now you want to bring people to your streaming service, which is a monthly commitment financially. So now, instead of that $15 ticket that you get to watch one movie one time, now you can spend $15 monthly and watch a whole collection of content as many times as you want, including newer movies that just came out 45 days before. I like it. I think it's a good progression with the movie going experience. For me, I have no problem sitting in my living room watching movies, and as opposed to going to the theaters. My theater experience has not been great the past few years. It hasn't. Like, there's always, not always, but I'd say a good solid 70% of the time, I'm always disappointed with somebody, that person who won't shut up, the person who won't turn off their phone. I'm about to go on a rant with that. I don't understand. I can't fathom why somebody would be in a theater with their phone, and it's always on the brightest it can go, to sit there. I don't understand the mindset. The last time, again, my experience last time when I went and saw Scream, somebody had their flashlight on. Like, every time they would get a text message, the flashlight would blink. It's a fucking movie theater, man. I honestly, theaters need to crack down on that. If I went to the movie theater and it was an immersing experience, I would enjoy it. But I don't. Theaters really should crack down. I mean, you're charging us $50 for a fucking popcorn, and forcing me to watch, half an hour of trailers that I didn't pay to watch. I paid for the movie. I shouldn't have to watch these trailers unless I want to. So now my 7:00 movie has turned into a 7:45 movie. I wish they had security. Hand us your phones. We'll keep them here until the movie's over. If you are found talking, if you're found being disturbing, we will escort you out of the theater, because we're all here to watch a movie and be courteous. That's what theaters should do, in my opinion. Sorry, I just don't like my experience with movie theaters just isn't great anymore, and I wish I could have the option to rent movies from home as soon as they landed in theaters. I would rather do that. That was one positive thing about COVID, and what I loved about Warner Brothers, HBO Max, who got a lot of shit for doing it. But when they released the movie on VOD and in theaters at the same time, that's perfect for me. Hell, I will pay $50 to watch this movie at home as opposed to, the $60 I spend at the theater. And just to go and sit next to somebody I don't know and hear somebody chewing with their flashlights and their phones. Nonsense. I don't like it. I don't dig it. So hopefully Tom Cruise doesn't win this one, because I think it's time to move forward. 45-day, I think, is a respectable theatrical run, and then it brings people to their streaming services. So I dig it. I like it. Tom Cruise, stop being grumpy. All right, that's going to conclude our discussion for Drive-By News today. Again, we will start doing Drive-By News on Tuesdays and Thursdays around 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30. I haven't quite decided yet, especially if Ramon is joining, because, he's 5 hours ahead. So that's like 11 for him. A little late, but yeah, we'll get it worked out for you guys. I do want to say thank you for joining me today, and always thank you for just being a part of the show. And with that being said, I will see you guys next week. Well, actually, no, I'll see you Tuesday. Stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.